Secretary Aden Duale and his interior counterpart, Professor Kithure Kindiki, have defended their action to involve the military in the crackdown of bandits in the 6 counties termed as dangerous and disturbed without parliamentary approval. Duale is saying the deployment was to only reinforce the police efforts and that when the military will be required to take over the operation, Parliament's stamp of approval will be sought. And as Chumutai Goin reports, the 2 cabinet secretaries in charge of the country's security and defense expressed confidence that William Ruto's administration will end banditry once and for all.
Defense CS Aden Duale and his interior counterpart Professor Kithure Kindiki were before a joint sitting of the Defense Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee and that of Administration and Internal Affairs to respond to concerns raised by members of Parliament over the deployment of the Kenya Defence Forces troops in the bandit-prone areas of North Rift without Parliament's stamp of approval.
Is Parliament unreasonable? Is Parliament bureaucratic?
All the legal procedures were followed because we are bound by the Constitution as state officers to operate within the Constitution and to operate within the law.
We are in the theater in these 6 counties to provide and support the National Police Service under their leadership with both mobility, equipment, like surveillance equipment.
Procedurally, a military deployment within the country must get a nod from the National Assembly.
The terrorists were retreating to certain parts of these counties which are difficult terrain areas and which are difficult for accessibility by our security agents in the National Police Service. And therefore we needed significant air support and surveillance to combine with our ground officers to make sure that we succeed in flushing them out.
If and when we feel the situation requires now the Kenya Defence Forces to take up the mantle, remove other security agencies, take the leadership, then we will now do what the Constitution and the Act requires.
The Cabinet Secretary is revealing that they will populate the disturbed zones with different formations of security agencies beyond the operation.
When this government says we must bring this to an end, it must really come to an end. Because we don't have the schools, we don't have locations.
It is the same government that cannibalized the police, who gave directive that the choppers, all the air transport, the air power for the police should go to the military.
We will see how we can even put military bases in those regions for quick reactional force. Already we are building one in Marsabit. We are going to have one in Pokot. We will have one already in the pipeline to build a base in Samburu.
I am convinced if we don't finish this problem here, and now, this is the cancer that could hurt our country very badly in future.
Bandits and cattle rustlers have in the recent weeks wreaked havoc in the North Rift region, leading to the loss of lives and livelihoods coupled with displacement. The CSS say the 5th administration will silence banditry for good. Chumutai Goin, Citizen TV.